you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. The new blast of Arctic air and a major winter storm on the way. Ice and snow in the forecast for more than half the country as wind chills plunge below zero. Lonnie Quinn is here tracking it all. And the helicopter spinning out of control near a snowy highway in Utah before crashing with 4 people on board. What happened? Also developing tonight, President Trump's new warning on Greenland. What he said late today about how far he's willing to go to take control.
You'll find out.
The other breaking news as we come on the air, a growing measles outbreak. Nearly 500 cases reported in South Carolina so far this year, now spreading to other states. What doctors are saying tonight. And the new warning on screen time. A new report says limits are no longer enough to protect children's health. So what are parents supposed to do? And what has scientists so amazed by a cow? Thank you.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
And it's great to be with you on this Back to Work Tuesday. A bad day for the markets. The president threatened new tariffs on U.S. allies overseas and dug in his heels on taking control of Greenland. And the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 all lost value. We're going to have more on that in a moment. But we have to begin tonight with the dangerous winter weather. The winter storm slamming the Great Lakes region as we come on the air. It's the latest in a series, and there is still more to come. Winter storm alerts up across the region tonight. Another foot of snow now possible. Travel, as you might imagine, is difficult and dangerous at this hour. And back east, Tom Hansen has made his way to Hamburg, New York, where they're shoveling more than a foot of snow this evening. Tom, good evening to you.
Hey there, Tony. Good evening to you. Well, the National Weather Service has extended a winter storm warning just to the north of us. And I can tell you from driving around this area, the wind and the snow has been relentless.
Frigid Arctic air is surging across the Great Lakes, bringing some of the coldest weather of the season to the eastern half of the country. Wind chills dropped temperatures overnight in West Virginia to 28 degrees below zero. And in western New York, the dangerous cold is turbocharging lake-effect snow. More than 27.5 inches in the town of Eden. Another 6 to 12 inches expected in the region tonight, where they're now relying on plow operators like Melanie Wakarski to keep roads clear.
Today, especially today, there's a lot of wind. So we're definitely going to come across some snowing and blowing and drifting.
This is not going to be a smooth ride.
Nope.
I'm sorry, it's just not.
In just about 10 minutes of driving, we went from pretty much clear conditions to this. Take a look behind me. You can see that visibility is low from all of that heavy snow. That is the lake effect.
Pictures show truck drivers stranded at rest stops near Angola after a semi got stuck in the snow, blocking the exit ramp. And staying ahead of all this snow is also proving troublesome in northeastern Ohio, where rock salt is in high demand but short supply.
Be patient. That's all you can do.
And Tony, folks here are used to snowy winters, of course, but what we just saw today was a particularly strong band of storms. We are also expecting another system to blow through this area later this week. That means even more snow and no relief from winter yet. Tony.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. For the latest forecast, we turn now to Lonnie Quinn. Lonnie?
All right, Tony, let's get right now, Tony, to that lake effect snow, because you heard Tom talking about it. And if I show you a radar picture, you're going to look at what looks to be snow guns, just blowing the snow from the water onto the relatively colder land. And that's going to continue through the overnight hours into your day tomorrow, but then it will back off as you go through the day. The rest of the country, relatively quiet. Northern Rockies, a bit of snow for you. Northern portions of the Midwest as well. But other than that, pretty quiet. The story is the cold air. Look what Washington, D.C. wakes up to tomorrow. 16 degrees with the wind, it feels like 10. Minneapolis, it's 13. The wind makes it feel like 3. Colder still by the weekend. Saturday morning, New York City is 13, feeling like 3 below zero. Look at northern Minnesota, 32 below zero, and thankfully, with no wind, it feels like 32 below zero. On Friday, a system will develop around the panhandle of Texas, push to the east. It's putting ice down in the center of the storm, snow to the north, rain south, but that ice is the most dangerous, and that's anywhere from outside of Dallas towards Atlanta, the I-20 Tony, the I-40 corridor, I'm really concerned about that with some dangerous travel out there on top of the ice. You know, some of those areas shaded in pink, that's where the heaviest snow would be, could be a foot or more as we look ahead to the weekend. Tony, it's all yours.
All right, Lonnie, thank you very much. We turn to other news now. The FAA is investigating a helicopter crash that was caught on video. It happened Sunday in northern Utah. The helicopter, 4 people on board, spiraling out of control as it fell from the sky and crashed into a grove of pine trees. 1 person was hurt in this incident. And turning to Minnesota, the president kicked off a nearly 2-hour press conference today boasting about the arrest of so-called worst of the worst criminals there, but adding that he felt terribly about the death of Renee Good. That as the Justice Department deepens its investigation into Minnesota's Democratic leaders. Nicole Skanga with the latest.
Today, the Justice Department serves subpoenas to top Minnesota officials. Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, accusing the Democrats of conspiring to impede federal immigration officers. State officials denied the allegations. In a statement to CBS News, Frey said when the federal government tries to intimidate local leaders for doing their jobs, every American should be concerned. During a White House press briefing today, President Trump weighed in on the administration's increased ICE enforcement.
They're going to make mistakes sometimes. ICE is going to be too rough with somebody, or, you know, they deal with rough people.
And at an ICE facility in St. Paul, U.S. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino says during the past 6 weeks alone, federal officers have arrested more than 3,000 people in the Twin Cities.
Our operations are lawful, they're targeted, and they're focused on individuals who pose a serious threat to this community.
But at a gathering of local police chiefs today at the Minnesota State Capitol, law enforcement revealed their own off-duty officers have been caught up in ICE encounters, along with scores of U.S. citizens.
Can we find a way to make sure that we can do these things without scaring the hell out of our community members and freaking everyone out?
In this video, U.S. citizen Chong Li Thao, a 56-year-old grandfather, says federal immigration agents forced open his door at gunpoint Sunday, leading him out onto the streets in his underwear in sub-freezing temperatures.
They didn't ask for my ID or anything until they handcuffed me.
And at Edina High School today, just outside Minneapolis, students walked out into the bitter cold in solidarity with immigrant families, carrying signs with messages like abolish ICE. And this week, the Justice Department appealed a federal court order restricting immigration agents here from arresting, detaining, or using chemical agents like pepper spray against peaceful protesters. This case now moves to the U.S. Court of Appeals. Tony?
Nicole, thank you very much. President Trump marked the first year of his return to power by posting private text messages between him and other world leaders, mocking critics of his plan to take control of Greenland, and then heading overseas tonight to negotiate with those very critics face-to-face. More now from senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
President Trump's push for Greenland today also pushed down stock markets by triple digits. But that didn't stop the president as he teased how far he'll go to acquire the Danish-controlled island.
You'll find.
He's openly mocking the world by posting images like this one and trolling France's Emmanuel Macron by sharing details of the leader's text to him. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland, Macron wrote. Today at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says it's simple.
Why does the United States need Greenland? To make America strong, we need to have a strong Western Hemisphere, and the world needs a strong America.
And the Energy Secretary tells us it has nothing to do with extracting rare earth minerals from the island.
It's a remote area. This is not about resource capture at all. This is about national security.
Trump's threat to tariff those allies who don't back his Greenland plans appears to be pushing them away.
It is time to seize this opportunity and build a new independent Europe.
And some, like this Danish member of the European Parliament, are being more direct.
Mr. Trump, off.
But among Americans attending the summit, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom says that more aggressive posture is exactly what's needed.
What he doesn't respond well to and what is effective is strength. And he responds to that in a very different way. And for the European Union, it's critical that they develop a backbone, clarity, and conviction.
And Ed, the president leaves tonight for Davos. That's where you are already. Clearly, many U.S. allies are frustrated with all this Greenland talk. How do you see things playing out on the ground there?
Yeah, that news conference today was called to mark the first year back in office, and he talked about his work on immigration and the economy and reshaping the world. But it's these threats against Greenland that have leaders here now talking much more openly about finding alternatives to working with the United States. The Canadian Prime Minister, quite starkly today, called it a rupture, not a transition, and suggested that the old world order, as it was once known, is now over. We'll see if the president's face-to-face meetings tomorrow and on Thursday do anything to calm their concerns. Tony?
All right, Ed, thank you very much. Also breaking tonight for the second time this week, a deadly train crash in Spain. The driver of this commuter train died after a wall collapsed today on the tracks near Barcelona. More than a dozen people were hurt. Meanwhile, the official death toll rose to 41 in that collision of high-speed trains in southern Spain on Sunday. And back in the U.S., it's been 1 year now since a measles outbreak in West Texas killed 2 children and made hundreds of other people sick. While that outbreak is over, another in South Carolina is getting worse tonight. And for the first time in a quarter century, America is in danger of losing its measles-free status. Here's Skylar Henry.
Oh, that's good.
When Alex Redding moved with Texas to South Carolina last year, she thought she was leaving her concerns about measles behind.
We didn't really realize that this was a hot zone until we came. It literally was like it was following us.
Her twins at 9 months old were too young for the vaccine, but a worsening outbreak in the state had her pediatrician concerned.
She was like, okay, they're not supposed to be getting any shots today. You know, it's not on the vaccine schedule. However, we can go ahead and do the MMR. And me and my husband were like, immediately, yes.
Today, the South Carolina Department of Health announced more than 600 people have tested positive for measles, the majority in and around Spartanburg County, where vaccination rates have lagged. That number has tripled since the beginning of the year. 2025 saw the largest surge of measles cases in the U.S. in decades. More than 95% of those cases were in people who were not fully vaccinated. 3 people died.
I think we should anticipate there will be many more cases picked up over the coming weeks and months. This is really just the tip of the iceberg.
And Tony, doctors say this sustained spread is exactly what threatens the U.S.'s measles elimination status. They say stopping transmission depends on early detection, vaccinations, and of course, preventing outbreaks like the one we're seeing in South Carolina. Tony?